So many of us have experienced trauma in our lives, and it's continuing. And I don't want to pass it on to my kids. So first of all, talk to us about what exactly is generational trauma.
Generational trauma.
Generational trauma.
What is generational trauma?
In 2021, Disney created a movie named Encanto. Even though it's mainly known for catchy songs, it's also tackled a subject that isn't talked about enough: generational trauma.
But wait, what is generational trauma?
Generational trauma is the trauma that is passed down from older generations to the next once a traumatic event occurs. This can lead to change of behavior from one person, and if they have kids, their behavior affects them as well, continuing the cycle. Even though the topic is becoming more widely known, much of the older generation still don't know what it is and how it affected them.
How exactly can this affect people though?
Generational trauma can affect people any age by giving them anxiety or emotional distress. It can affect how they react to work, school, and many other daily activities. We asked some of our friends how they view generational trauma and what it does to themselves and others.
What's your name?
Robert Williams.
James V.
Amber Elizabeth.
Antoine James.
Vicky Green.
Amira. I'm Maria.
Well, in my family, there's certain behaviors that like my mom does, that she does without knowing that she's doing them, and they're kind of harmful to us. So like, they have negative connotations.
My parents are immigrants, and so they have that, and they've always just been pressured to do well. And with that, I'm also been pressured to do well because they immigrated here because they wanted me to have a better life.
I need therapy.
I'd say my family's been affected a little bit with my dad having some problems with maintaining himself around the house, trying to like maintain a strong figure.
But I don't feel like it's detrimental to me because like I'm used to it now, and it kind of like built me to be the person that I am.
Definitely informs some anxieties that I have in my life. It definitely affected how my mom raised me and therefore how I view the world and people attaching to some learning of things.
Even after knowing this affects, people still wonder, why is it an issue in our community?
With generational trauma is that it isn't talked enough in Detroit. Detroit is known for its high crime rates and high poverty rates. However, it stems from generational trauma. It stems from the fact that it's treated as the norm to just not be able to talk about your feelings, and we're constantly being brought up around things such as drugs, alcoholism, etc.
In the black communities, it's definitely people try to hide the trauma more instead of talking about it. So it's kind of like tucked away, and it does more harm than good.
The things that happen to us that we then perpetrate on our children and onto their children and so on and so forth. And so I would say probably so.
I feel like a lot of people of color, especially, have experienced generational trauma, and that it has become a big issue now because of how many people experience it and why.
Yeah, when they talk about boys and the toxic masculinity, a boy should be allowed to cry. You don't gotta stay all stuck up and tough. You have feelings and emotions.
Students of color in general have this kind of pressure to do well and succeed for their parents, because more than likely their parents probably weren't able to get a higher education or have better opportunities than they did, so they just want to make them proud.
Yeah, definitely. We had slavery, and then we started hitting our kids, so that's how we learned how to like do what we was told to do, and we were like, okay, it's okay if we hit our kids, because I got hit and I turned out fine. Spoiler alert, you didn't turn out fine.
How do you feel like generational trauma impacts students at school when trying to learn? It definitely takes them from their learning environment and puts them like in their head because they're thinking about what's going on at school instead of going on at home instead of what they should do instead.
To have like some kind of a reward system, right? And like if you don't have that, then kids aren't gonna like feel any kind of motivation to do. Like their only motivation to do stuff is just I don't want to get hit, I don't want to get beat, whatever. Instead of like, oh yeah, I should do this because it's good for me. I should do this because it's a good thing. It doesn't.
I know that a lot of the students are told things like, if you don't do what you're supposed to do in school, then you're just going to get beaten. But the same things that were told to them without necessarily talking to them about the importance of education and the value of, being a good citizen and that kind of a thing. So you have kids, I think, that are more prepared more likely to rebel against the system because they don't even understand why they're necessarily a part of it. We have to do better at explaining things to kids about why we're doing things and why we have the systems in place that we have so that they can be prepared to be more participatory than rebel against it.
You know how like some students, if they're feeling depressed, most likely their heads are down, they're not really doing the work at all. So it's gonna be difficult for them to like get their grades in and most likely hard to submit this.
I think that I can break the cycle because it's affected a lot of people, so I feel like I can be the one to break the cycle if I try not to do it because, like I said, it is hard to avoid it if it's being inflicted on you, but yes.
I don't have many children yet, so to be honest, I'm not sure, but hopefully I can break the cycle.
Most definitely, because I would raise my own kid.
Like some stuff, yeah, and some stuff not. Like, if my kid being bad and it's like young, I might give him a whoop, but I'm not gonna be like just beating on him like my parents. I keep it to me.
I feel like whippings are like to be taught lessons or kind of discipline, but I mean, if you just doing it like for no reason, or just taking out the portion, then it's kind of that's what's kind of useless.